instead of being productive, I decide to waste my life. Today's channel, we're going to be covering the Storytime animated. It's another one of these. Now, the video is, I wish I'd never opened my crush's locker. Sounds fun. Okay, let's jump into it.
I watched everyone packing up their stuff and stuffing it in their bags as I sunk
like normal people.
Lower and lower in my chair.
Oh god, no, please. It's too easy. Oh, it's just too easy.
I was ashamed of having just failed an important test and
dipshit.
having been asked in front of everyone to stay behind and talk to my teacher. He sat on his desk with his hands on each side, the way teachers do when they're disappointed.
What the hell was that sound effect?
I shamefully walked to the front and sat down, crossing my arms. But before I go on, please take a second to like and
Fuck you.
subscribe if you haven't already. We really appreciate it. Daniel, would you care to explain what led you to score so badly on
Also, the artwork is shit.
the test? He asked in his usual proud tone. I didn't study, sir, I said simply. I was never the type
Why did you not study?
to make excuses. I just didn't study, and that was that. I've talked to your other teachers, and you seem to be failing most classes, he said.
Yeah. Wonder why.
You think you should get a tutor, or you'll fail the year. I wanted to slap myself in the forehead.
Yes.
It was so embarrassing. Now I had to get tutored by some nerd. They were probably going to make me stay inside during breaks studying while watching my friends play basketball
Okay, whatever.
outside. I was already dreading the whole experience, and it hadn't even started. The next day, my teacher really did make me stay inside during recess. He did that condescending thing where they put their hand
Yeah.
on your shoulder and walked me to the library. It was mostly empty, but at the back I saw all the nerds my friends made fun of.
Jesus Christ, when is this from? The fucking 80s? I'm a nerd and I have friends. Jesus. I originally was gonna go do a video on politics, but no. I then found this. But no, I think I'm regretting it, and it has mid-roll ads. Okay, whatever, nerds.
My friends made fun of, talking about computer software or something
Computer software is interesting as fuck.
like that. However, this one girl stood out. I caught myself saying, "Whoa," under my breath.
And then the school collapsed due to a mechanical failure.
Never seen her before because my school was huge. She was gorgeous.
Of course she was, and she just happened to be hanging out with the nerds.
Everything from her hair to her smile and her bright eyes was mesmerizing.
Mesmerizing. Why do you say it mesmerizing? Well, I don't know really how to say it that well. Yeah, I guess.
Who is she? I asked myself.
What was that slide whistle sound effect?
Smile and her bright eyes was mesmerizing. Who is she? I asked myself. I expected my teacher to take me to the back of the room and make me sit with the weirdos. But suddenly, I was face to face with the prettiest girl I had ever seen.
Yeah, I think I have a theory why.
Dan, this is your tutor, Molly, he said. And then he walked off muttering something about
I knew a Molly once. Molly's a fish.
about not getting paid enough and teenagers being the worst, as per usual. I was kind of
Jesus Christ, no teacher says that. I mean, especially as they walk off.
speechless in front of my new tutor, Molly. It sounded like the most beautiful name because it was hers. Nice to meet you, Daniel.
Nice to meet you, Daniel.
She said, smiling at me brightly.
God. Oh, hey, how do horror movies always start again? Oh, yeah.
I had to say something, but my voice cracked. I cleared my throat and said, "You can call me Danny." She simply smiled and sat down, getting her books out of her bag. She started asking me a bunch of questions, but I couldn't hear a word she was saying. I was just staring at her.
I think you were staring a little lower than her face, mate.
I had never been so dumbfounded. She waved her hand before my eyes, and I snapped back into reality. "Hello, you in there?" she laughed. Yeah, sorry, I said. "You're fine," she replied. She started asking me about the subjects I took and which ones I was struggling with the most. I was super embarrassed. I didn't want her to think I was stupid. I told her my worst subjects, and she wrote them down. She wrote down everything I told her about why I struggled at school and took perfect notes. I could tell she was a good student. She was already studying me.
Or she knows how to, get people to crack, you ease them into comfort. I should just do an entire video on psychology.
Too soon for my liking. The bell rang and we had to get to class. We didn't have any classes together, which
Also, studying you, Jesus Christ, it's your tutor. She needs to know which person, what you struggle with, so that way she can target her focus on specific periods. It's called knowledge, idiot.
which upset me, even though it had always been this way. Now when I was in class, I felt like she was missing. I'd look around expecting her to be there, but she wasn't. We started studying during recess and during periods when we were both free. Every word she said stuck in my mind. It all seemed like the most interesting stuff ever said.
Sure.
Soon enough, I had another batch of tests, and guess what? I aced all of them.
Oh, but let me guess. Here, without, I actually haven't gone through the story, so this is my live reaction. I'm gonna guess, since, he aced all of them, he's gonna be taken away from Molly, and then he's going to be sad, and then purposely try to fail tests.
Molly really turned my school life upside down.
So, he started their school upside down, and I thought there was an error, and then flipped it right side up. Dude, flip it upside down.
I was so filled with gratitude, and I was so into her. I couldn't wait to tell her the news. When I saw her, I scooped her up in my arms and swung her around.
Jesus!
I showed her my test results, and she was just as happy as me. I couldn't help myself. I just had to do it. I asked her to be my girlfriend then and there. To my surprise, she actually grinned and said
What the
yes. I don't know why, but I kinda expected her to reject me.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're a fucking dipshit?
I was over the moon. She was on my mind 24/7.
And then I failed multiple tests.
Now, hopefully, I'd be on hers too. After dating for 3 months, I wanted to give her a little surprise.
Oh, God.
It's corny, I know, but
Oh, no. Oh. And, here's a link to a very, specific website. It's 18 plus, and, I recorded the, surprise, if you know what I mean.
I wanted to celebrate our 3-month anniversary.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You'll celebrate your 3-month and 1 second anniversary, because Jesus, who celebrates their 3-month anniversary? Sure, maybe 5, maybe 10. 3-month though, boy. Whatever. Let's continue.
Bought her chocolates, flowers, and I wrote her a bunch of little notes. I stayed behind after school, telling her I had basketball practice, and when everyone was gone, I opened her locker.
Please. And I found a knife that had been connected to 43 murders. I realized on her hit list next was me. Her plan was to seduce me. And then, while we were doing the, thing, I would kill him.
I was about to put all the gifts in for her to see first thing in the morning next day when she got to school. But something glimmered in the back of her locker.
Oh, no. Oh, okay, so, second prediction, it's a diary that's unlocked or something like that, and it happens to be all the boys she's dating.
I reached for it, expecting it to be something light, but it was a very heavy book. A photo album. It was ratty, messy, and full of glitter. The glitter got everywhere on my hands and pants. I opened the first page, and my mouth fell open in shock.
She was murdered?
It was a picture of my history teacher, the same one who introduced me to her.
Oh, God. damn it, love
was
triangles.
surrounded by hearts. Every page had a picture of a male teacher at my school, surrounded by hearts, glitter, and different messages like husband or love of my life. I was so creeped out, but I
Didn't I call it?
hadn't even gotten to the worst part yet. I flipped through every page until I reached the last. It was a picture of 3 people. It was so unbelievable. It took me a second to process. It was a picture of me, my mom, and my dad.
Jesus, she wants to bang your dad. How the hell does she know this? You know, I used to run a mafia, and I didn't know what the fuck people's dads looked like. I ran the most powerful mafia until my brother, until I had to go leave the school, and then my brother established an even more powerful one. But seriously, I didn't even know what those looked like. So Jesus Christ, how good of a mafia does she have?
Kinda odd for it to take me a second to figure out it was my family, right? Well, that's because my mom's face was cut out, and mine was angrily scratched up. It was like she took a pointy object and started scratching. My dad, on the other hand, he was perfect. He had even more hearts around him than all the teachers put together. Even
Glitter, wow, fuck you.
more glitter, and even
I should have predicted this. She wants to kill my mom and bang my dad. Fun. Whatever, let's continue. Okay.
put together. Even more glitter and even creepier messages. My hands were cold, my face pale as I stared at this shrine to my dad. My girlfriend was obsessed with my dad. I didn't know what to do. I panicked, so I stuffed all the anniversary stuff in her locker and shoved the album in my backpack. I ran home.
Oh, God. What the hell was that, then? Jesus. Your so-called boyfriend, gives you a bunch of stuff and steals something. I wonder who it could be. I wonder. I wouldn't be surprised if it said, man found dead, in creek. Suspects, were confirmed in YouTube video.
Home as fast as I could. I needed time to think. The next
Don't go to school, pretend to be sick, actually get sick, I don't know.
day, Molly ran to me in the hallway and hugged me because she opened her locker and found all the gifts I had gotten her. She hugged me tight, but I just stiffened. Danny, you shouldn't have, she said, her cheek against my chest. She tried to kiss me, but I swerved it by pretending I had to sneeze. I avoided her the rest of the day. She tried to talk to me a bunch.
Okay, so let's run out the scenario. Okay, my boyfriend just got a bunch of gifts for me, and now he's avoiding me the rest of the day. What am I doing wrong? Oh,
A bunch of times, but I dipped down and blended in with the crowd. Like I said, my school was huge. A few people told me she was looking for me and where she was, but I just used that info to avoid her even more.
jeez. Okay, well that's gonna drive her even more insane. Oh, I have a boyfriend who just gave me a bunch of gifts. I then asked people, hey, if you see this, tell me where, send him over to me. And he's avoiding me. Jesus Christ, you're an absolutely awful person.
I watched her go to her locker at some point, hoping she wouldn't notice her album was gone. But, of course, she did. She started twitching. Sometimes her neck, sometimes her eyes. She looked like a person going through withdrawal. I was about to leave school at the end of the day when she grabbed my arm and, without saying a word, dragged me to the library. I wasn't about to make a scene in front of the entire school, so I let her drag me. She sat me down on one of the couches and reached out to touch my cheek, but I flinched. Danny, what's wrong with you?
Please help. Jesus. Oh god, I forgot. Okay, whatever.
Why are you avoiding me? She asked me with pleading eyes, but not being able to stop scratching the back of her neck in nervousness. Nothing, Molly. She kind of flinched at me calling her by her name. I always called her by some sort of pet name. You're cold and distant. Just tell me what's wrong, she said.
Yeah. Oh wow, it's almost like it's a caring girlfriend.
Unexpectedly grabbing my hand. She looked down at it and she saw some remaining glitter on my hand and under
You didn't wash your hands?
my fingernails. She grabbed my other hand and examined it. I could see how she was connecting the dots in her mind. She looked up at me with a chilling gaze. I immediately stood up and ran out of the building. It was pretty late by that time, and the sun was going down. I had
When you get out of school?
biked to school that day, so I got on my bike and pedaled as fast as my legs could. It still wasn't fast enough. I was biking on this poorly illuminated road with forest on both,
Oh, shoot.
dreading the whole experience.
Shoot, whatever. Whatever. Okay.
I was biking on this poorly illuminated road with forest on both sides. The road was on higher ground than the forest. I saw a bright light approaching fast. It was only one, so I guessed it was a motorcycle. Soon, I realized it was on the same lane as me, but clearly on the wrong side of the road.
I wonder who that could be.
Wasn't sure what to do. Was it a drunk driver? The closer they got, the closer I could see the person on the bike. It was Molly.
So you're either over 16, Molly's either over 16, or she's a thief.
She looked absolutely deranged. She was driving full speed right at me. I realized she wanted to crash into me, and right before the moment of impact, I leapt off my bike and off the road, tumbling into the forest. My bike went
Here's what you don't do. Go deeper into the forest, or if you do, make sure you know where to go.
flying. The motorbike was much heavier. I hid behind a thick bush and watched Molly searching for me with a flashlight. "Where are you, Danny boy? Why won't you talk to me?" she said in this creepy, angry baby voice. She ran into the
Where are you, Danny boy? Why won't you talk to me?
forest and started pointing her flashlight around. She almost spotted me, but I ducked down just in time. While she was distracted, I ran to her bike. She almost caught me. I felt her fingernails graze my back. I rode off on her motorbike much faster than
Now you're a thief and a felon.
she could ever go with my now destroyed old bicycle. I rode all the way home, where I jumped off the bike and ran inside. I saw my parents in the kitchen, my dad reading a book out loud to my mom while she grabbed a plate for something. "Oh, sweetie, you're finally home," my mom said. "We were just about to eat these brownies your girlfriend brought over earlier."
Oh, god damn it. She's a murderer. God damn it.
My mom grabbed a brownie and was about to take a bite of it when I slapped it out of her hand. I took the whole tray of brownies and threw them in the trash while my mom screamed at me, asking what the hell I was doing. "They're poisoned," I screamed back. "Daniel, what is the meaning of this?" my dad asked, taking off his glasses. "Molly's insane," I yelled at them. The doorbell rang suddenly, and my mom went to answer it. I tried to tell her not to.
Here's what you do. You're gonna go find something to defend yourself. Do you have a knife? Grab one, take it into a hallway. Make sure there's nothing she can use.
But she wouldn't listen. She came back, and Molly was standing right behind her. I pushed her away from my mom, yelling, "What are you doing here?" at her. My dad grabbed me by the arms and pushed me away from Molly and my mom.
Jesus Christ, your dad is a fucking cuck.
"What is the matter with you, Daniel? You don't push women," he reprimanded.
Oh my god, he is a cuck.
I grabbed my backpack off the floor and opened the album. Molly shrieked not to open it, but I shoved the picture of my mom, my dad, and me under their noses. They both looked at Molly, shocked. Molly stopped and screeched. She ran to my dad and flung herself on him, screaming, "Nothing will ever separate us." My mom got really mad at that, as she should, and clawed Molly off my dad as she kicked and screamed. She pushed the insane girl out of the house and screamed at her in our front yard.
Call the fucking police.
All the lights on our street turned on as nosy neighbors came outside to see what all the noise was about.
Okay, let's play add up the criminal charges. Let's see. Probably driving without a license. That's an if. Driving without a license. Possibly theft. The tampering with public systems. Possibly murder if someone possibly murder if someone needed that electricity to go do something, or anything. Um, and that's murder for each person. Attempted murder for three counts of attempted murder, and possibly trespassing if she tries to go stay here.
It's about. But my mom ran back inside and locked the front door. Molly was left kicking, screaming,
Trespassing.
and banging on our front door and
Also vandalism.
windows until the authorities arrived and took her away. She was so violent, they had to put her in a straitjacket. She lost her mind that day and was put in a psych ward. That year, I did end up getting amazing grades, but I still have nightmares of Molly looking for me in that forest. Let's just say,
Whatever. Let's just say your story is stupid and dumb.